Have you ever asked yourself, what if the most powerful AI on the planet didn't live in the cloud, but inside your pocket? It sounds impossible, right? Yet that's exactly what just happened. Liquid AI has unleashed something called LFM2VL, and it isn't just another incremental upgrade. This feels like a turning point, the kind that makes you realize the old rules are about to collapse. We're talking about vision language AI, the kind of tech that understands both pictures and words, that doesn't need a data center to survive. Instead, it runs on devices you already own: your phone, your laptop, maybe even your smartwatch. Here's the part that should make your jaw drop. It's already hitting twice the speed of the strongest models out there. Not in some marketing demo, but in real inference speed. Translation? For the first time, real multimodal AI, the kind that can see and read and think, is small enough to live with you, not just up there in the cloud. But who is Liquid AI and why does this matter? This company comes out of MIT's CSAL, one of the most legendary AI research groups in the world. Instead of joining the race to build bigger and bigger transformers, bloated models that choke on hardware, they've chosen a different path. They asked a disruptive question: what if AI wasn't about scale but about elegance? Their answer is what they call liquid foundation models, LFMs for short. Built on principles from mathematics and signal processing, LFMs are designed to be lighter, faster, more flexible. Efficiency isn't just a feature, it's their philosophy. And with LFM2VL, we finally see what that philosophy looks like in action. So what's inside this thing? What makes it different? Why is it already being called one of the fastest open-source multimodal AIs in existence? Stick around, because the deeper we dig, the more revolutionary this starts to look. Section 2, the models and efficiency philosophy. Let's strip away the hype and look under the hood. What exactly is new here? At its core, LFM2VL is a family of vision language models that are laser-focused on one goal: low latency. In plain English, they respond fast, like really fast. Not cloud server fast, but in your hand fast. Imagine asking your digital assistant a question and getting an answer before your thought even finishes. That's what this model family is engineered to do. Here's how they split it. The lean model, LFM2VL 450M. With just 450 million parameters, it's tailor-made for extremely resource-limited devices. Think IoT sensors, wearables, or even budget smartphones, where every megabyte of memory is a luxury. The heavyweight sibling LFM2VL-1.6B. At 1.6 billion parameters, this version packs serious power, comparable to much larger vision language models, but it still runs on a single GPU or a high-end mobile chip. Normally, models of this caliber demand a cluster of servers. Not here, and that's why this release matters. It's not just about raw power, it's about where that power lives. For years, AI has been held hostage by the cloud. Want smart assistants, image recognition, or multimodal search? You had to ping a data center. That's expensive, laggy, and a privacy nightmare. LFM2VL flips that script. But the speed claims are what make this release so disruptive. Liquid AI reports up to 2x faster inference on GPUs compared to competitors. That's not a small tweak, that's halving the time it takes for the model to process and respond. If you've ever felt the drag of a laggy AI assistant, you know that shaving even a second off makes the difference between cool demo and usable tool. Think about it this way. Most people won't tolerate waiting 3-5 seconds for their assistant to process a photo or answer a question. But 1-2 seconds, that feels instantaneous. That's the difference between technology you try once and technology you live with daily. And that's just the surface. The real magic is in how they built these models. The architecture itself feels almost alien compared to the standard pile on more layers transformer approach. And once you see it, you'll understand why Liquid AI is already being called a category breaker. Section 3. The architecture: brains plus eyes plus fusion. Now let's talk architecture, because this is where things get seriously clever. LFM2VL is built from 3 essential pieces: the language model backbone, the text processing brain, the vision encoder, the eye that interprets images, the multimodal projector, the bridge that fuses text and vision together. For the backbone, the bigger 1.6B model runs on top of LFM2-1.2B, while the smaller 450M version uses LFM2 350M. These backbones handle natural language, questions, prompts, conversations, the stuff that makes AI feel human. The vision encoder is equally fascinating. They've chosen SIGLIP2 NLX encoders. The big model uses a 400M parameter encoder for rich image detail. The smaller one, a leaner 86M encoder, trading depth for speed. But here's the clever hack. Images are processed at their native resolution, up to 512 x 512 pixels. Unlike many models that squash or stretch images, destroying detail in the process, LFM2VL breaks bigger images into clean 512 x 512 tiles. That means no lost detail, no blurred edges. The 1.6B model even adds another trick. It processes a thumbnail of the entire image, giving it both fine detail and global context. It sees the trees and the forest. Finally, the multimodal projector. This is the glue. Using a technique called pixel unshuffle, it compresses image tokens efficiently. That's huge, because image tokens normally bloat a model. Here Liquid AI found a way to keep the detail, but cut the token count dramatically. Example, a 256 x 384 image, about 96 tokens. A 384 x 680 image, 240 tokens. A giant 1000 x 3000 panorama at approximately 1020 tokens. This balance between detail and efficiency is the core design principle. And it's why the model runs so much faster without sacrificing clarity. But it doesn't stop there. LFM2VL is adaptive. You can literally tune it on the fly, prioritize speed if you're on a tiny device, or crank up accuracy on a beefier machine. That flexibility means it's not just a single model, it's a sliding scale of possibilities. And if you think the design is clever, wait until you hear about the training process. That's where Liquid AI showed true discipline, and why their models already punch above their size. Section 4. Training process and discipline. Training is where most AI projects live or die. And Liquid AI didn't just throw data at this thing. They crafted the process with surgical precision. It starts with pre-training the backbone on massive text data. That gives the model a strong language foundation. Then comes the mid-training stage. And this is brilliant. Instead of instantly bombarding the model with images and words, they gradually shifted the balance. At first, the data mix was about 95% text, 5% images. Slowly over the course of training, they moved it towards 70% text, 30% images. Why? Because this avoids overwhelming the model with multimodal complexity too soon. It learns to read first, then to see, and finally to connect the two worlds. That's how you get balanced multimodal intelligence, not a text model duct taped to an image encoder. Finally, they fine-tuned the system for vision tasks. All in, the training diet included about 100 billion multimodal tokens, sourced from both open datasets and Liquid AI's own synthetic vision data. That's important. Synthetic data lets them cover edge cases and rare scenarios that public datasets often miss. This kind of structured training shows in the results. Instead of ballooning into a gigantic model that's impossible to run, they've kept it lean, disciplined, and practical. A kind of fighting weight AI, fast, precise, and efficient. But the real question, does it actually perform? Or is this just another cool architecture, mid-result story? Spoiler, the benchmarks prove the hype. And what you're about to see might make you rethink what's possible with small, efficient AI. Section 5. Benchmarks and real-world performance. Benchmarks don't lie. And in this case, the numbers are almost shocking. On real-world QA, the 1.6B model scored 65.23, neck and neck with industry heavyweights like Interim VL3. On Info VQA, it hit 58.68. On OCR Bench, it posted an impressive 742. The smaller 450M model isn't just a throwaway, either. It scored 52.29 on real-world QA and 655 on OCR Bench. Exceptionally strong for such a compact system. But let's be honest, raw accuracy scores are one thing. What people feel is speed, and this is where LFM2VL crushes the competition. In standard tests, processing a 1024 x 1024 image with a short text prompt and generating 100 tokens. LFM2VL ran up to twice as fast as other models in its class. Now think about what that means in practice. If you're running a smart camera, a mobile assistant, or a robotic system, every second counts. 3 to 4 seconds of lag. That's the difference between usable and useless. But cut that down to 1 or 2 seconds, and suddenly the technology feels alive. That's why this isn't just about bragging rights. It's about crossing the usability threshold. The moment when AI stops being a novelty and becomes an everyday tool you can't imagine living without. And here's the kicker, it's not just fast. It's also designed to be easy to use, even for developers without massive infrastructure. Which brings us to integration. Section 6, Integration, Ecosystem and Licensing. Liquid AI made sure LFM2VL doesn't live in isolation. It's built to slot right into the tools developers already use. First, it integrates seamlessly with Hugging Face transformers. They've even released example code for llama.cpp. Support for quantization is built in, meaning you can shrink memory usage further by swapping precision without sacrificing much quality. But here's the big ecosystem play. It connects to Leap, Liquid AI's software kit, launched in July. Leap makes it easy to deploy small AI models directly on mobile devices, across iOS, Android and more. And for quick testing, there's Apollo, their companion app that lets developers experiment completely offline. Offline is the key word here. Liquid AI isn't just making models fast, they're making them independent. No constant server calls, no data being shipped back and forth. That's faster, cheaper, and way more private. Now licensing. This part is interesting. They've released the models as open weights under something called the LFM1.0 license. It's based on Apache 2.0, but with a twist. If you're a small company making under $10 million per year, you can use the models freely, even for commercial work. But if you're a large enterprise, you'll need a commercial license. This approach keeps the community open, while stopping trillion-dollar corporations from freeloading off academic breakthroughs. Smart move. So what can you actually do with LFM2VL? The possibilities are endless, and they point toward a future where AI isn't locked in the cloud, but woven into everyday devices. Section 7. Use cases, and the bigger shift. Liquid AI highlights obvious use cases: real-time image captioning, multimodal chatbots, visual search, robotics, IoT, and smart cameras. But if you zoom out, the real story is bigger. For years, AI has been something you access. You send data up to the cloud, wait for a server to chew on it, then get results back. That's expensive, slow, and risky for privacy. LFM2VL points to a new paradigm: AI that lives where you live, on your devices, running instantly, protected by default. That's not just a technical shift, it's a cultural one. It means AI will no longer feel like a distant service. It'll feel like a companion, right there with you. And think about what this unlocks. A doctor in a rural area, running advanced vision AI on a tablet, without internet. A smart camera that detects issues in real time, without shipping footage to the cloud. A phone assistant that actually feels responsive, not laggy. Robots that think on their feet, not after buffering for 5 seconds. This isn't just better AI, it's democratized AI, intelligence that doesn't require a corporate supercomputer to access. And the industry knows it. That's why this release feels like a warning shot to every cloud-first AI company out there. Section 8, Conclusion and Call to Action. So let's step back. Liquid AI's LFM2VL is small enough to run on your devices, fast enough to feel instant, accurate enough to rival giants, and open enough to empower small developers. That's not just an upgrade. That's a shift in the balance of power. From the cloud back to the individual. From trillion-dollar tech monopolies to everyday creators. And if history tells us anything, it's that efficiency wins. The world doesn't always reward the biggest or most bloated technology. It rewards the fastest, leanest, most adaptable. And right now, that's exactly what Liquid AI has built. The only question left is, how long until this kind of AI isn't just new, but normal? If you want to stay ahead of that curve, hit subscribe. Because what just happened with LFM2V, it's only the beginning.